I'm gonna get some of the crackers and just place it around the cheeses. And if you see, I did not just place it like just simply, but I did like a little circle. Hey, my future saints, I'm Ellie, and welcome back to One World Saints. Today we're gonna change it up a little bit. You're not gonna see me so much in the stove, but right in front of you. So I am getting you guys prepared for your future little get-together, study groups, Bible study groups specifically. And just take a trip, and we're gonna learn about the saints while I get you guys prepared. All right, so our menu for today would be creating your own charcuterie board. I call it a cheese board since it contains cheese. But it revolves different items. You can find these in your local grocery store. You can go to a very fancy grocery store. It's up to your own choice. You have different elements in here. The more common one is obviously your crackers, your cheeses, and your meats. And on that you add the filling, the rest of the board with other items. Usually you see it with a wooden board, but that's up to your own preference as well. I've seen other people just use it plainly on the table itself, but it's up to your own. So I chose my fruits for today, strawberries and raspberries, but you can do any fruits that you like. I've seen grapes as well. It's up to what you have at home or in your grocery store. You can also pair your filling areas with different nuts and berries, dried berries. I have cranberries, and I have a variety of nuts, almonds and walnuts and all that. But to get into the real thing of the stars of tonight would be your cheeses, and they usually say to put different varieties of cheeses. I like to have it a balance, so I have 3 that are more of a hard texture of cheese. So I have pepper jack, I have Colby jack, and I have mild cheddar cheese. And my soft cheeses, which you can see here that they are considered soft. If you can squeeze it, you see that they're a soft texture compared to these on this side. I have goat cheese, I have brie cheese, and I have Camembert cheese. And as well, you have your dried meats on there. I have some sausage, some pepperoni, and some salami. And with all that, your other ingredients that you fill up your board with would be your crackers. I got this crackers set here of 6 different types of crackers, but any crackers that you have would be you would be able to use, as well as the cheeses. I only named these, but there's plenty of more cheeses out there that you like. If you have any specific one, I know I'm Hispanic, so in my household we have a lot of queso fresco. So if you want to use queso fresco, I mean it's a soft consistency as well. So if you want to use one of those instead of these, then you can use that. You can also use jam and some honey, which is what I have here. You can put it on top of these soft cheeses. That would be really good to dip into it. So those are the ingredients, the basic ingredients that you can use. It's up to your own preference. Like I'm saying, you can add more ingredients to this, you can have less ingredients to this, but it's a good variety for any of your friends, colleagues, taste buds to satisfy them. All right, so we are back from our ingredient list. Hopefully maybe you went around in your kitchen, see if you had any of these ingredients. If not, hopefully you pressed pause, went to go quickly purchase them, and came back so that we can construct our charcuterie board. But let's dive into it. Let's not forget why we are here though. This isn't just about the charcuterie board. We are here to learn about our Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. So when you are getting ready to build your own charcuterie board, this one is when you bring your creativity to the board, literally. So you can try to cut your cheeses different shapes. I have my pepper jack cut into little cubes. The other ones are just little slabs of cheese, but if you have a whole bar of cheese, you can cut it into little shapes. You can get little cookie cutters and cut little shapes on them, as well as on your meats. I kept it simple and have just slices of the meat, but it's up to your own creativity. And let's not just have everything in order, but make it fun, make it your work of art. So I have already placed here my brie and my camembert. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna get some of the crackers and just place it around the cheeses. And if you see it, then I'll just place it like just simply, but I did like a little circle. It's up to your own preference as well. And then you just start layering them in different areas. You can have them in a little corner or not. All right, so let's dive into, while I'm fixing this up, while you're looking at me fix this up, talk about our saint. So Saint Thérèse of Lisieux was born in France. She had many siblings, which by a young age of around 13 is what it was said. She was only left with three of her sisters and herself and her parents. So while she was growing up, very young age, her mother was dying. So her mother passed away, having her very young. So her mother left her older sister to be in charge of her, so then she could look after her while growing up and everything. So her sisters were much older than her. She was the youngest. She was one of the youngest. And while she was still growing up, her parents, she only had her dad left, and her dad was very with her all the time. Her dad was left to take care of her as well as her sisters, but their sisters kept growing up, trying to continue their lives, and her sisters decided to join the covenant. So Saint Thérèse also wanted to join as well, but she was slightly too young to join, and which was kind of weird and kind of like something different that we hear from this saint, which I think it also makes us see her more humane to us, that she wasn't just like some big person how sometimes we see saints to be, but she was a very emotional girl, like very, I don't know how to say it to you guys, like she was very emotional. Anytime anyone would tell her anything, she would start crying. I mean, and right now you can start be thinking of that person that that girl that or guy that is very emotional. You tell them anything and they just start crying for anything. Very emotional. So she was very emotional, but she wanted to join the convent as well with her siblings. But her dad had conversations with her sisters and was thinking, no, she wouldn't be able to join the convent, because here in the house we protect her, we give her everything she wants, we like in a sense baby her, pamper her, to give her everything. In the convent it's not going to be that exact same thing. So many times they were trying to talk her out of it. Like, are you sure you want to join the convent? Like, it's not the same as it is here. And she was like, no, I'm sure. I want to join the convent. So they went after her siblings already had left to the convent. She decided to join right after. She wanted to join the Carmelites as well with her sisters. But before that, she got very, very sick. So she was so sick that she was bedridden. She had cancer. So she was in the bed, couldn't get up at all, and her sisters were all around her. And she asked her father, who are they praying to? What are they doing? So the father told her, oh, they're praying to Mother Mary. So she decided, oh, well, I want to pray to Mother Mary as well. So she prayed. She was praying to Mother Mary, and which I think is pretty extraordinary. Mother Mary appeared to her. And all that she did was just give her a smile, appear to her, give her a smile, and that's it. But after that, I guess maybe, my guess is why she automatically just got up from her bed, which she wasn't able to do, and stood up and told her father what happened, which I think is probably because from shock, like what just happened. I'm here praying to Mother Mary and she appears to me. Like, I think that's just extraordinary, and that's probably why it got the urge to get up from her bed and be able to see that she wasn't bedridden anymore. So she told her father about it, and her father didn't quite was kind of like I believe you, but at the same time, I don't know. But I mean, you can see it in her. She was bedridden before, so he's like, oh yeah, that was a miracle that happened. So I mean, and that just like a side note, just to show us how we should be praying to our Mother Mary as well. Yes, we should pray to God to help us, but we should also pray to our Mother Mary, who can help us intercede to get closer to Jesus. She also sends our needs, what we want to talk to, what we want to tell Jesus. She can also be that messenger. So let's not take her out of like the picture. She is part of it as well. So this message that's happening, that happened to Saint Thérèse, can be an example to let's continue praying to our Mother Mary as well. So after she was not bedridden anymore, she was able to continue her day-to-day life, and after that that gave her more of a yes, I want to join the Carmelites. So that's when she joined the Carmelites. She went there. The nun at the time asked her that she needed to get a letter from the Pope. She went to the Pope to get that authorization to be permitted to go join the Carmelites at her age. So the Pope thought it was such a big thing. Like, I did not expect someone so young to come to me and that really, really wants to join the Carmelites. So he granted her permission. So she went back and got the permission. So she got that yes from the Pope. She joined the Carmelites, but what she didn't expect. Okay, so if you've been catching up with us, you see how she's being pampered throughout her life, given everything that she wants. So she's in this convent here, and she doesn't get that. It's pretty cold there. It's not like at home where everything's so bright and everything. And she's given what she wants. It's a dark place. It's cold. It's just herself, not really much around her, not her father around her. So it puts her in a sense where, like, this is not something that I'm used to. I'm used to getting what I want. I'm used to having a good meal every time, not this that they serve me here, which who knows what they're actually serving them, what they were serving her at the time. All right. So the one thing, while being in the convent, the one thing that she never stopped doing was praying to God. She was a constant prayer every day. Every time that she faced a struggle at the convent, the one thing she went to is to pray. And I think that's just a great motivation for us, that even during these dark times where it's not something that you expect, like these times right now where it's time of uncertainty, we don't know what's next. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen a month, a week, a year from now. So that should just encourage us to continue praying, because He Himself, God, knows what is there to come. We may not know it, but He knows it already. So we should put all our complete trust in Him, just like she did. She put all her trust in Him, and what she decided to do was do good deeds, every little good deed. So, and this, what I'm about to tell you, the good deeds that she would do, the little good deeds, the little smallest changes that she did in her life, and it's something that we can relate to. For example, there was times where she would go, obviously we're human, sometimes we don't get along with everyone around us. So there would be some nuns that she wouldn't necessarily like get along with, good. So even with them, she decided to do a small thing as giving them a smile. And sometimes, how hard is it for us to even walk past that person? I know it's hard for me. If there's someone that I don't like at times, I will avoid them at all costs. But on the contrary, she went and she gave them a smile, which is something so small. So that should encourage us to do that small thing as well. So I think that's a very good model to follow along with, because sometimes it is hard. We're human, yes, of course. But so was she, and she was able to do so. And she continued to do other deeds all around the house, and she did them with such a passion and such a good, like, the way she portrayed herself was always like to be, yes, I'll help you with that, yes. And it went to a point where she put everyone else and every other needs before her. She would let other people go in front of her in like the line when they would get food, and she would get the scraps. But at the same time, she was very bad nourished from all this, that it was affecting her health. And even she was such a young age of 24, where because all of this that was going on, and she was doing so good, and yes, I'm here, being good with the small deeds and eating all the scraps that were left, that was left over, it affected her health. And to the age of such a young age of 24, where she was so bad nourished, where she ended up passing away. And even then, before that, she was praying to God. And after she had passed away, it is said that there was many of the nuns that were nearby. They were like, well, what do we have to say about her? There's nothing extraordinary about her. But her sister, actually, let's backtrack a little bit. Before she had passed away, she went to her sister. One of her sisters were at the Carmelites as well, correct? Like I told you guys. So her sister was offered a higher position to be a nun, a higher position, and a higher position to be a nun. And so now all 4 of the sisters are there, but she was offered a higher position. But the other nuns that were there, they were saying things like, they're going to take over the convent, because now there's 4 of them, and in that convent there was only like 20 of the nuns. So they're like, no, they're going to take over. They're going to start implementing their laws, their gossip, which I'm sure many of us are very familiar with gossip. So the sister didn't offer anything. Thérèse, what she had said, she's like, you know what, I'm going to leave the convent then. If it's going to be affecting you, I think I'm going to leave the convent, and so you can continue your position. So it's even that as simply putting others before you. She's like, she could have simply said, I don't want to leave. This is what I want to do, and I want to continue here. No, but she put herself down and had her sister, okay, you know what, I'm going to leave the convent because this is going to help you. This is going to be better for you. So continued, and then this is when later on during her life, that's when she started, basically all the bad nutrients got to her, and because she was so bad nourished, then she passed away at such a young age of 24. So the nuns after that, they were like, well, what are we going to say? And during that, she was able to write so much about her and everything that was going on in her life, that there was many biographies that she composed, autobiographies that she composed from her life. So, I mean, that's all from Saint Thérèse of Lisieux. And I think that there is plenty of things that we can learn from and to take into consideration, that with simple things, we don't have to do these extreme things. With simple things as saying hi to that person or smiling to that person that you don't like can get us so much farther. We don't have to save the world. We don't have to do these big things so that we can become saints. She did little things that maybe a common person wouldn't try to do, and she did them. So I should encourage us to do small things. Do those small things that hurt us, because we will have a bigger change in the future. We completed our Charcuterie board, and we got to know our Saint Thérèse de Lisieux as well. That's all for today. Let's hope and let's try to do small things, do small changes in our lives that will have a big impact in the future. Thank you guys all for watching, and hope to see you guys next week.